If you feel like being oh so nice to me, click the little shop button, click the little creator support icon on the bottom right, and type in S, J, and B, and then confirm. Thank you guys so much. Hello and welcome back, my fishy-smelling boils. It's SJB here, and this is part 2 of our trying to get 20 wins in a row series. We're going to start you guys off with game number 11. We went through the first 10 games in the previous video, so if you are interested in checking that out, feel free. The link is in the description below. These are going to be pretty reasonably quick games because we got to get through 10 games in about 20 minutes, guys, so let's work together here. I noticed this guy's only got base Dartling guns right now, so I'm trying to rush him pretty hard with some whites and things like that. Does not seem to be doing much work, though. My Monkey Ace is still doing a pretty good job, but not perfect because he does have a weakness to black balloons with his bombs, and zebras are pretty dangerous for us, so we're losing quite a few lives over here. That's okay. Some big rush rounds are coming up in here, and maybe we can take him down. Now, I've got some decent amount of banana farm action for myself. I've definitely enjoyed the banana farms for my strategies lately. But I've been enjoying rushing my opponent even more. So we're going to go for a pretty decent rush, I guess. Some zebras and stuff like that. He throws down a Hydra rocket pods, though, and easily defends that rush. Can't do nothing about that, at least not yet. So I've got a pretty good Monkey Ace defense right now. I love the Bomber Ace these days, but he is not perfect, so I need to throw down another Monkey Ace, and I decided to go for a top path Monkey Ace, but with cam detection to confirm that camo blacks or camo zebras won't just annihilate us at some point. Round 13 is here, though. If you know anything about Hydra rocket pods, you know that it is not foolproof against regen rainbows. You can overwhelm a Hydra rocket pods player with regen rainbows, but if they end up going rocket storm, they can usually defend that. So you have to be a little bit careful with how much you rush with. You can't just all out automatically. You're going to have to kind of play it by ear and see if you can actually snake them through. That being said, I'm still an aggressive player. I want to get my wins in here. I want to get them pretty fast. I don't want to play this out in the late game if I don't need to. So I go for a decent sized regen rainbow rush, and let's see if he can defend it. He's kind of aiming a little bit wrong here. He throws in another Dartling gun instead of a Rocket Storm. Maybe he doesn't have the money yet. They're starting to sneak through, and it looks like even with Oben's little coral over there, he cannot defend, and game number 11 gives to us. Game number 12, again, very contiguous kind of gameplay for myself. I'm going for banana farms, I'm going for tack shooters, I'm going for mortars, I'm going for Monkey Aces, and a little bit of spike factory action, kind of mix it all up in there. Those are my main towers that I've been using to try to go on this streak. If that's boring to you, I'm sorry. Just try to work with me here, man. I'm using my best strategies, my best towers, because I want to make sure that this win streak goes all the way through. So for game number 12 here, we got a Pat Fusty Tack Shooter combo against a Dartling Gun player. Again, another Dartling Gun player. Seems to be a very common tower to go up against. I've got a great amount of banana farms up in here, which is honestly pretty freaking amazing, if you ask me. He goes for a regen zebra rush, which is kind of scary against me. My tack shooters are not good enough. I randomly go for a 2-0-2 tack shooter because that's what I can afford for now. I do have to boost it, and I still end up losing a decent amount of lives, but I am able to get my mortar up in here and get some burning stuff flowing, and that starts to mitigate the damage against me. Now, don't forget that regen zebra rush is an actually pretty expensive rush to send out against me, so he might be in a bit of a damper right now. And I'm a little bit afraid as well of a big rush coming out against me. But a huge purple rush coming out. All right, I use Pat Fusty's ability. I'm a little afraid. There's a lot of balloons here. I sell for a Strom. The Strom keeps me alive, but barely. We're down to 24 lives right now, and that was like an emergency Strom. I'm not sure if I would have died for sure if I didn't get that up in time. But dang, I am glad that I got it no matter what. We're going to go for a counter purple rush because we got the money right now. And he does not get anything for this purple rush. And Quincy cannot keep him alive, and the purples will destroy him for game number 12. Game number 13, we're hopping in here for another Monkey Ace strategy. We got Monkey Ace Banana Farm Tack Shooter combo. This is pretty soon after the Banana Farmer and the Bloon bot are in existence now, so you're going to see a lot more games with those in play these days. So just keep that in mind. But maybe not all of them. I don't remember exactly what I do. All right, so we got a tack shooter player on the other side. He's doing an all right job, but he's got kind of a weird tack shooter in a really stupid spot, if you ask me. That spot doesn't make any sense. You're so much better off putting it in the spot that I currently have it in because they get like a second wraparound. So I decided to go for a big yellow rush on round 7 because all he's got is Ben and a tack shooter, and he greeds a little too hard here. I balloon boost a yellow rush, and we're going to take him down for game number 13 here, which is stupid yellows. He tries to throw down another tack shooter, but it's just not enough. And we snake them all through. Game number 14. Time to make some big plays here. So I should mention really quickly, while we're here, that some people were saying that all of these games could have just been randomly edited and cut together, and I could have just not shown my losses, and that is true. But I'm going to show you guys, by the time we get to round 17, I actually start looking at my stats in the game, so you can see that I'm definitely not lying. And it's a video as well, it's not just a screenshot that I could have edited. So you'll see it at the end of the game here, once we get a little closer. Also, a lot of these recordings were recorded with me accidentally leaving the voice on, so when you hear me going, that was actually me while I was live playing doing that, and there's no real good way to cut it out without cutting out all of the sound as well, so just deal with it, guys. Just deal with it. Maybe you'll hear me swear or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember if I have any super terrible experiences or anything. Anyways, back to game number 14. We've got a pretty similar gameplay style from both of us. Banana Farms, I go for a Pathfusty hero. He goes for Gwendolyn. He's got Ice and Dartling guns. I'm able to farm just a little bit better than him with my Monkey Ace combo over here, and Pathfusty, surprisingly, doing an excellent job over here, even against zebras and everything, guys. Just working its wonders over here. I'm going to go for a second Monkey Ace just to kind of confirm that if he does set to rush me something big, I can get a second Bomber Ace, or just go for a top path Monkey Ace and hopefully clean it all up. Also got Maelstroms and everything, but I decided to go for a small purple rush against this guy to see if I can sneak anything through, and it looks like the Ice Tower is not powerful enough to take them all down, and we force a boost. He loses a couple lives on that rush, but he does defend with that. So I decided, you know what? I think we have to. I think we have to go for a secondary rush after that, man. We're going to go for some zebras because his Ice Tower is the majority of his popping power right now. And if we stop it from being able to pop those things, he got nothing left. And the purples are going to sneak right through that defense. All right, it's time for game number 15. Now, you can notice a lot of my games on this win streak so far have all been quick games. We have some longer games here and there where we go to the Moab territory or BFB territory. I've had a couple games go to around 30 plus, but they're actually more of a minority than anything. Most games are going to die. My opponent's going to lose on round 11, 12, or 13, and that's because I'm a rush-heavy player. I don't want to go late game if I could just take somebody down in the early game, and round 13 is a dangerous round. Reach and Rainbows are tough for a lot of players, especially if you're going Dartling Guns or other things that are kind of like very normalized for popping most Bloons, not necessarily all Bloons. All right, so we've got a Banana Farm play over here. Taxter is doing an okay job right now against his just silly little yellows. I said to go for some pinks against this guy, and we're just draining him. But it's actually kind of probably purposefully done on his part. He lost probably 100 lives on purpose or so he can get his maxed out bottom path Druid. And that makes sense. That's fine. That's a viable strategy and all that stuff. But it also does put you in kind of a precarious situation where you're not able to play risky whatsoever anymore. You have to be sort of defensive. But you're going to notice this one Druid with the lightning is actually pretty insane. I mean, look at this popping power, guys. That's wild. These are white Bloons coming out. These are supposed to be like somewhat difficult to pop for like reasonable amounts of towers. I have a Pathfusty and a Blade Shooter here, and he's just owning compared to me. All right, it's coming up on the big rounds here. So I got a decent income, but I decided to be somewhat greedy with my Banana Farms and try to get a third tier, try to catch up to this guy because he's just doing such a great job. But we do notice he's got a somewhat weird purple defense right now. We have to try for it. Can we just get some purples to sneak through his defense? We go for a pretty beefy Bloon energied purple rush over here. And even with that Druid, he cannot take it down. And game number 15 is going to go to us. Sadly, game number 16 was not recorded. I don't know why. Just it didn't get recorded. So anyways, game number 17. Now this is the first game, I think this is the first game where afterwards I show you guys my win streak, but it might be the next game that I show you my win streak. Anyways, this guy sucked really, really bad. I don't know what he was doing. He went for an Elk start, which was pretty cool. He went for an Oban Elk combo, which actually worked pretty well, but once we got to yellow Bloons, he just wasn't able to get enough defense going, and then Ninja just sort of suffered over here. He's going to lose a crap ton of lives to yellows, and even if you do survive this, it just puts you in such a bad situation for later, it doesn't even matter. But we just take him down. So we win. Game number 17. Easy as cake. And now we're moving on to game number 18, which was probably the scariest game in the entirety of my run here. First of all, I'm only 3 games away. I got to win 18, 19, and 20 to get that 20 win streak, though. So we're still 3 games away, and this is a scary one. This would be a terrible one to lose on. I think it would only be worse if I lost on game number 20. All right, I think that's the only way you could make this worse on yourself. Anyways, we got a huge amount of yellows coming through here, and my Monkey Ace Pack combo is just not working. He's going to Bloon Energy this crap and actually do even more damage to me than I wanted to. I threw in a Spike Factory, which was my second tower here, which I think was kind of a mistake for me. I should have gone Tack Shooter on this map, and I'm down into the 30s already as far as lives are concerned. This is just terrible, and he's got a better eco than me as far as banana farms are concerned. So this game is looking really bad right from the get-go, and I mainly regret going for the Monkey Ace on this map. It's not a normal strategy for me. Normally I go Tack Shooter and something else. I could have gone for Mortar, would probably be my most likely favorite tower to go for. But if I went Tack Shooter with my Monkey Ace, I wouldn't have felt too bad about that either, because the Monkey Ace would have helped me survive in the mid-game. Sadly, I am getting drained over here, down to 30 lives already, and even if though like I had this Spike Factor over here, he's still not doing a great job. He's like barely hanging on, and now we got white balloons coming out. I need the Bomber Ace, and I need it now. I cannot get the money going, and I'm still being greedy, trying to set up whites against this guy, and I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. We still lose even more lives. We're down into the 20s now. Spike Factory still trying to hang on. The 19 lives, 13 lives, 11 lives, and it's looking terrible for me. Now, the only good thing I've got going for me is this guy's only got 42 lives as well. So maybe we can keep something going for us, but down to 6 lives. Look at that Spike Factory, barely hanging on 5 lives. Again, losing more and more. I have to boost through these black balloons here, and this is just terrible. But I am able to get my Spike Factory up to a slightly higher level here, and we're hoping that that guy's going to keep us in this game. Sadly, Banana Farm-wise, Blue Inca-wise, things are looking bad. I never like when this happens, man. I never like it. But finally, we have a decent level buildup of spikes, and that makes me feel reasonably safe, because the only thing that's going to actually sneak through here is probably some sort of big regen Rainbow Rush at this point. It's not going to be some sort of smaller black space balloon rush or something like that. Or at least I'll have time to work on it once my spikes start to disappear a little bit. He decides to go for a couple purple balloons against me and everything, and the reason why I'm showing most of this game is because it is just so scary. Being down to less than 50 lives is already scary. Being down less than 25 is very scary, and being down less than 10 is unbelievably scary. One mistake, you lose that game. But we're still just as in this game as the opponent is, because we have more than 1 life, and that means we still have a chance. We can still fight back against the grain and take this guy down. And the number one thing that I always go for is I love my purple rush. I think I have to try for my purple rush. We got 2 more rounds to go. I need to save up some money here, see if we can get this purple rush to sneak through our opponent's defense. What do you guys think? Think it's going to be possible? He does have a sub going, but he's getting kind of greedy with his banana farms. He gets a sub up, but not a nuclear sub. And he can't get the nuclear sub up until 2 seconds too late. All we need is 30 lives to go through, and we make it through, baby. So scary. And here it is, guys. Our 18 win streak is official, and we got to keep on pushing forward, baby. Whoop, whoop. All right, game number 19. We get Glades again, and this time I decide, well, I made a mistake last time. Let's not do the same thing. Let's not do that Monkey Ace crappy strategy. Let's do a Spike Factory Mortar combo and hopefully do a better job with it. This guy ends up going for a surprisingly interesting strategy, but not necessarily bad as a strategy. He actually had that Dart Monkey there as a catapult, waited until he got the money for Churchill, and then bought Churchill and sold the catapult. Then he decided to rebuy that Dart Monkey and rebuy the catapult after the fact. But he's losing a lot of lives in the process here, guys. To try to get his banana farm flowing, he is down to 59 lives already, and he's still getting drained. Going down into the 30s, in the 20s, and he boosts on top of this, down into 9 lives. So he's in the same situation that I was in the last game, but guess what? He still got that chance. He can fight against the grain. He can still win this game if he gives it his all. So he gets a glue gunner up. The glue gunner's doing an okay job. He's still just about at the point of losing more lives. He's down to 4? What is he going down to? It looks like, I guess, Churchill somehow magically defeated some of those balloons. I just didn't see it on my screen. He's down to 5 lives. Okay. I just want to sneak those last ones through, but sadly, he survives with 1 life. And he gets his glue gunner up, and now he's got a Juggernaut as well. He's actually got a decent defense at this point. So I can't just randomly stake a purple rush through at this point. I have to do something a little crazier. Sadly, he rushes me with a huge purple rush. I decided to go for a quick Ring of Fire in the back here, and it does keep us alive. Luckily, we did pop the purple layer with the mortar and the other towers. I decided to go for a counter purple rush on my side. It does nothing, but we did force, I believe, a boost on this guy, or at least a Churchill ability or something like that, but it's not going to be enough. We're going late game. So, banana farm-wise, I've got a slight lead, but not much. I've got a decent Moab defense, but not great. But I know he's going to be weak against Moabs, so I've got to go for it, guys. We're going to go for a double dose of Moabs real quick here. Let's see if his Dart Monkeys and Churchill is going to be enough. He boosts with the Churchill combo, and he defeats the first Moab, but barely. The second Moab only needs one to go through, and we do. We make it through, and now we are at 19 wins, my friends. 19 wins, and now it begins. The most difficult and most ridiculous game of my entire life. Can we get 20 wins in a row? Luckily, this is one of my favorite maps in the game, and I've got Monkey Aces as my favorite tower in the game that I'm able to use on my favorite map in the game, and I am pumped. We go for a Monkey Ace Spike Factory Banana Farm strategy for ourselves. Our opponent decides to go for a Monkey Ace Pat combo, and I believe he eventually goes for a village, but I don't know that yet. So, we're both playing for late game strategies, basically. I greed out my banana farms. I go for 2 third-tier banana farms, and I still keep a little bit of money left over here for a possible rush on round 13, but against Monkey Aces, I know that there's just not much to do. There just isn't much to do, so we jump all the way into mid-game Moab territory. I said to go for a double dose of Moabs here. I'm assuming he's going to defeat them, but I don't know for sure. He gets a good pat smack over there with 3 Monkey Aces working together all against these Bloons. We do make a couple Bloons go through over there. He goes for an Ice Tower in the very back, but they were Zebra Bloons, and they just sneak right through. He's down to 62 lives at this point, and we force a pretty good amount of money spent. But it's not enough to take him down. So, again, we go for another rush because we are aggressive players. Luckily, in the meantime, I was able to get a 4-2 banana farm going and keep my other 2 banana farms flowing, so this is looking good for us. The BFB is just not enough for us to kill him at this point, so he's just going to annihilate that thing. Pretty much no problem. Well, not no problem. I mean, some Bloons look like they're sneaking through over there, but it's not going to be enough to kill him, even if it was. And sadly, it just ends up not being any lives. Anyways, I go for another rush. A big fat, oh my god here. Pat Fusty's going to hug the crap out of that, which you don't see very often. You kind of forget that it even exists, because I just don't even use it generally. And I don't have the ability to use it anyway, so he's got his Pat a little bit longer than me, and he ground zeros through that thing and just completely annihilates it. Somewhat upsetting. So to go for a quick ceramic rush to try to just sneak some Bloons through really, really quickly while his ground zero is down, but it doesn't do anything. And I'm a little saddened by it, but it's okay. I decided to switch from banana farm into a little bit of extra Bloon income to kind of combine everything together, but I've got my 5th tier banana farm going for myself on round 31. Now, you're going to notice my opponent's got a big plane at this point, which is kind of ridiculous, and like I said, he did end up going villages, so he's got a crazy good regular Bloon income. I decide to be aggressive. I go for a quick bad Bloon. Can the big plane actually defend a bad Bloon? A bad Bloon is difficult no matter what. Even if you got a 5th tier tower, even if you got a couple 5th tier towers, it's going to be difficult. But with Pat, some ice towers, and a big plane, you never know, man. We got to check this out. At the very least, keep him busy. Maybe he'll stop sending out Bloons against me, which we notice he does. No more pinks are coming out against me, so I don't know how much money he's got over there, but it can't be infinite money. It's probably something in the $5,000-ish range, which is only about double mine minus the banana farms. Anyways, you're going to notice the bad Bloon layer does go down pretty quickly, but surprisingly, the Oh My Gods are not super duper easy to pop. They're not just an automatic destruction or anything like that, and the Moabs as well. But he still pops it about halfway through the map, and I decided, you know what? That means if you took halfway through the map to defend a bad Bloon, you're going to take even longer to defend a reinforced bad Bloon, especially now that it's got double health. So I just decided to go pretty aggressively here and go for the big, fat, reinforced bad Bloon. Can't put all my eggs in one basket yet because I still need some defense, just in case he decides to do some sort of DDT rush against me or something like that. But I wanted to keep him busy, and knowing that I've got banana farms puts me in a pretty good position to keep on making money, even if I send out crap tons of Bloons. Even crap tons of big Bloons over here, where he does not really have that luxury. If he decides to rush me, he's got to go big, and he's got to go pretty much all in. So here we go. Some DDTs trying to stick through. He does end up boosting through this thing, and about halfway through the map, he is going to pop that bad, pop the DDTs, and still pretty much clean up the Oh My Gods, but they are not easy to take down. And now that we've seen that he can barely take down one reinforced bad, we got to go for another one, boys. I mean, I can't just go for one. We got to go for a double dose over here. So here we go, guys. We've got like $90,000 worth of rushes still on the screen over here. He's still got 2 reinforced Oh My Gods in the back. He goes for another Zarbomba, starting to sell and rebuy to get this defense up, and he does get it up, but he's still got 2 reinforced bads on the screen right now. Can he defend these guys as well? Or is he going to rush me instead? Now we're going to start watching out for my own defense. So I got 60 grand saved up. I could go for an even bigger rush. I think it's almost a folly to go for it, but I decided, let's try some DDTs to just try to sneak him through. Sadly, his Ice Tower is just too powerful. Not worth it for me. So he's got Big Plane. He's got the 5th tier village over there. He's trying to sell and rebuy to reuse that ability. I decided to go for one more reinforced bat, because even if he defends those two, I don't think he can defend that last one on the bottom there, and we're going to suck away some of the Big Plane's power away from that top defense. We know the rush is going to come out against us pretty soon, so we're going to have to sell. We buy the Big Plane, we go for the boost, we go for every single one of our abilities over here, we defeat the DDTs, but is it going to be enough to defend all these DDTs? Look at them all! There's like 50, 60, 70 DDTs coming out. There's even more! He probably sent out over 100 DDTs. Can we defend? And we do! We defend long enough to take him down with a reinforced bad. And there it is, my friends. Take it down, even a Hall of Masters champion. And we push on, we grab it, we get our unbelievable, check this out, 20 win streak. If you guys enjoyed, press that like button, don't forget to subscribe, and of course, have a super duper delicious day.